Welcome back to our Kimberley series. We are still on our way to James Price Point for tonight's camp. Perfect driving conditions for this beach. We can drive in a big group cluster. There's no one else on the beach. The tide is at its perfect lowest point, and the beach is just so wide. And not to mention 4 roaring V8s. It sounds pretty awesome. Now, in case you're wondering, we are actually locked in low range, and our top speed is about 50 kilometers per hour, even though we could actually go a lot faster here. One more bend and we have reached James Price Point. But before we head to camp, we found some hermit crabs.
Alright.
Ready,
Set.
go.
Go.
Go, say the thing. Go. Go. No. Hey! He stopped. Yeah!
Good thing.
We won that one.
Go, you good thing, won it.
Go.
Go, you good thing. Go. Snap.
Second. Mine died.
So while the rest of the boys stayed at camp to play a bit of bush poker, myself, Wayne and Sarah went for a bit of a drive to get some firewood because there is just absolutely no wood around near the beach. So we have to go a fair way inland to go find some.
Having a small fire anyway. So all you can see the boys are doing now is I was questioning them, why make a new pit? They're actually transferring the old pit to here, which is another way of doing it. Having a small fire tonight. I don't think too many of us are doing much on the fire. I might put a billy on there or something, but that's about it. Who's winning poker?
I'm out.
Cold beers, good mates, bush poker, with a spectacular sunset. What more could you ask for? The next morning we had a few four-legged visitors in the microscopic kind of size compared to what we are going to see today. We are in fact going to leave camp and head straight for the Malcolm Douglas Crocodile Farm, where we are going to get a bit of a behind the scenes or behind the fence experience. So let's go check that out.
So here we are at the famous Malcolm Douglas Crocodile Farm, and we have exclusive access. So we're going to go in here, meet up with a fellow called Luke and get some cool facts and learn a bit about the crocodiles, or especially the saltwater crocodiles, before we head out to Walcott Inlet. And as soon as we're done here, we're going to hit the Gibb River Road and we got a long drive.
Welcome to the Croc Farm. This is a very short and condensed version of the full feature of the Croc Farm, as this is part of the adventure video, but the full version will be uploaded as a separate video so you can have everything just crocodile.
So we're inside the Malcolm Douglas Crocodile Farm now, and this is Luke.
There you go, guys.
So Luke's going to show us around the park, give us some exclusive access and get us behind the gates as well.
Yeah, do you want to meet one?
Yeah, why not?
Well, I've got a little present here for you, mate.
Oh, look at that.
This is Mr. Grumpy over here.
Mr. Grumpy, is that
Yep.
why?
These guys all come out of the eggs summer this year, and he's a Estuarine, or salty as we call them. Now holding these guys, they've still got the same attitude as their big cousins, mate, so they come out of the egg biting. So we put a little band around his mouth. Best way to hold him, foot between the legs, round the neck, one hand on the tail. If he all of a sudden launches, mate, you can keep a good grip of him.
So the tails are all the power is, eh?
Yeah, they can certainly give a good flick, mate. Well, this bloke's hissing a little bit. These guys are a little bit grumpy. They've come out of the pond. They're our new display crocs. He's moving a little bit over here.
So hissing's like a warning, I take it?
Yeah, it's him with a little bit of an attitude, mate. I should have given you this one.
We can swap if you want.
There you go. Try him out. Yeah, they don't make very good pets. They certainly they learn to calm down in your hands like this, but you'll never be able to tame these guys. So not a good pet to take home and stick in your bathtub with you at night. Yeah.
Shortly after, Luke gave us access to the feeding bay, and this was pretty damn cool and exhilarating.
I think he's looking at me over the fish. Here you go, big fella. What about your mate? We want to see a bit of a snap. You come on, big fella. Thanks. You've got one hungry here. Well, we're going to drop it in this bloke's jaws. He's going to have a beautiful feed today. There you go, big fella. Off he goes. Oh, bit of argument going on. Come on, we'll give you one there. Have a crunch. Right in front of you. There he goes.
What kind of power their jaws got?
Mate, they tell me it's up around and over 3,000 PSI, which is the equivalent to a couple of tonne coming down on your foot. So if you get grabbed by one of these things, you're going to have a really bad day. So a paleontologist friend of mine was telling me it's just a little bit shy of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So it's certainly the biggest bite pressure of any animal on the planet. Mel always told me that if a crocodile bit you and he got you around the side here, you'd basically explode.
Wow.
So it's immense pressure. They haven't got a lot of pressure in the opening of the jaw. So basically, I could hold that crocodile's jaws and he couldn't open his mouth. But if I was inside that jaws and he come down on me, it would be horrible, mate.
So to my viewers in the United States, these are alligators. So that's what you guys have over there in Florida or all those areas. So they're very different to our crocs. Just thought I'd show you so you can see the difference. But in the full feature, we will cover this a lot more. Now let's check out some freshwater crocodiles, the smaller cousin of the salty.
So we're now in the freshwater crocodile habitat.
Yep.
Now, what's the main difference on the freshwater and the saltwater apart from them being a lot smaller?
They're certainly a lot smaller. These guys will get up around about 3.5 metre mark. One of the main features of being able to tell them is obviously the very thin snout on them, where the Estuarine or Salties got the much broader snout. These guys have got a much thinner snout. Another way is too, these guys have got really sharp teeth. Yep.
Really sharp teeth.
Really sharp teeth. I mean,
They mainly feed on fish, these guys, aren't they?
mostly eat fish. This time of year, you've got, like, out on the water, we've got dragonflies and bugs, so they're getting a lot of protein out of bugs.
But they eat bugs as well.
They love bugs this time of year. Small mammals, small crabs, frogs and things like that.
Right, my rod to get closer. We are entering into the pen.
Now this is another big lake in here, so we've got a lot of big crocodiles in here. All these lakes I always take my big pole, mate. This short one's going to get me a little bit too close, so just stick with me and we'll be right. Alright. Now as you can see up here, we've got a big slide track. So this bloke's been up on his headed back, so we've just got to keep our eyes open in here, guys, and we'll be right. Okay.
See you later. We got a big male behind us, just underneath the is it algae?
It's duckweed, mate.
Duckweed, that's right.
Yeah, brought in by the ducks.
Yeah. So he's hiding just under there. Now this leads me to another question. It's said that when you go to a water hole,
Yep.
and there's salties in there, never go to the same place again, or even like when you launch your boat.
Yeah, he will certainly learn patterns. So you might go down the first time, he might take his head up and have a bit of a look like that. Go down, the second time you go down, he might draw in a little bit closer. I mean, he's a big animal, but like us, we're not just going to jump in and go for it. He's worried about his own life too, so he's going to make sure he's got a 100% chance of surviving the attack. So as a rule, by the third time you go down, he's going to be sitting just there. You can see his head's just sitting on behind us over there like that. Mm-hmm. He'll go right down under the water and sit right on the edge and wait for you to come down the edge. Yep, it certainly is known to break up your patterns a little bit, but in general, it's just not a good idea to go down into known salty country, especially when the water's murky and especially when the water's deep. Take it easy, big fella. He's been waiting for you in the interview all day.
All right, Luke and Ben, I really appreciate the time and
No worries, mate. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Information.
You're very welcome, mate. Thank you.
Thanks for keeping our bacon safe too.
Yeah, I'd like a chance to play with Crocs, mate. It's always good.
Yeah, that was.
I think this bloke's eyeing you off over here, mate.
Yeah.
I think he is.
Smiling at you.
What's the saying, mate? Never smile at a what?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Never smile at a croc.
yeah, that's it, mate.
Is that what they say?
They do say that, but yeah. It usually comes from alligators, that crocodile smile thing, but we won't go into that. But you guys have fun at Wildcott Inlet, mate.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
We'll be hitting the Gibb today and off we go.
Awesome.
A bit of a spider do on you.
Oh, I'm always collecting creatures, mate. Yeah, no, enjoy it, guys. If you get any wild experiences, yeah, let us know.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah, good one.
But before we leave the croc farm, let's go check out the Malcolm Douglas Museum, invites only.
Words can't describe. So this thing here, I've seen a lot of things. So
A few wild trips, mate. Yep.
So that's from the original series, the across the top.
Across the top series, yeah. Yep.
Spider over here.
Couple of cobwebs there.
I have arachnophobia, but
It's probably in the right place.
worth conquering the fear just to get in here.
Got a few snakes in the back there too, mate.
Wow. It's surreal.
This is unreal, man. This is so cool.
Can you imagine if art cars had doors like this?
That one ticked off the list. When I was a kid, I sat in the night riding vehicle with a kid. This tops it, for sure.
He did all this trip and then he did the film across here. And in it, yeah, you see he almost got up at the top, the wet season had kicked in. And there's that scene with the trailer and he's just trying to get it through that big gutter, and in the end they virtually had to abort mission, but it was coming across the wet season across there back in those days is a pretty serious feat.
Anywhere, sort of up here, anywhere would be crazy in the wet season.
Yeah.
We have learnt a lot at the Malcolm Douglas Crocodile Farm, and thanks to Luke and Ben for giving us a lot of their knowledge And also special thanks to Valerie for letting us access the crocodile farm. And right now I'm inside the museum that's not open to the public with all Malcolm Douglas's old relics here. This one in particular being his Land Rover from the Across the Top series. He was only meant to spend 6 months in this vehicle and it's been 4 years filming that documentary. So right now we are just about to gear up and head on, hit the Gibb River Road and then head out to the Mundra track to get to Walker Inlet. And the main purpose for coming here, well, there's two main purposes. One, to learn more about crocodiles, because that's where we're going to crocodile infested waters. And the other was just to check it out, because crocodiles are cool. Well, I think so anyway. So, see you on the road.
So we've got our final fuel now. Now we've got a long 2-hour drive to Derby. And when we get to Derby, we'll be going 30 k's past town and we'll start the Gibb River Road. And we'll find camp 30 k's out. Now we are leaving and it's 3:02 in the afternoon. So we have a long drive and it'll get dark. 2-hour drive, get dark, find camp in the dark. Nothing new. Compared to the rest of the world, anywhere in Australia is a long drive. The distances are very vast. Now it's not just a distance to get from point A to point B, it's a distance from point A to point B with nothing in between. Nothing civilized, that is. As usual, time is against us. It is dark. We need to find somewhere to camp. Our intended destination is too far out of reach, so we're looking for a closer camp, and Winjana Gorge sounds like it ticks all the boxes because it also has freshwater crocodiles which we can go and have a look at the next day. Now the Mundra track is still 400 kilometres away from where we are right now, which is at the prison buy-up tree. More on that prison buy-up tree now.
So welcome to the buy-up tree, just outside Derby. We are 4 k's out of town and we are doing it in our true normal style in the dark. We've still got to find camp. So there's a bit of a story behind this tree right here. It used to be used as a prison by the police. As you can see, there's a bit of a hole in there and it's quite spacious inside.
So just a couple of things here. Buy-up trees are native to Australia as well as Africa. This tree in particular is said to be around 1500 years old. That's pretty old. So how and why was this tree used as a prison tree? Well, it's said that in transit of prisoners taking them to Derby for sentencing, this was one of the stop-offs where they would load the hollow of the tree up with the prisoners and then guard it from the outside. So in other words, a temporary holding cell. After topping up our fuel tanks in Derby, we are now on the Gibb River Road and time to air down because those corrugations are starting to get worse.
The speed limit in fact is 110, but you'd be mad to be doing those speeds on corrugations like this. Things are just going to rattle off. And if you speak to anyone who frequents on this road, they'll probably agree with 70 to 80 k's per hour is the better speed to do. And I'm going to put it in full drive. A lot of people probably wouldn't even put it into full drive, but 4 drive is part of your system on your vehicle when you are on the dirt. So it's kind of like a safety feature, so to say. I'm going to go about 30 psi and see how that goes. And you need to find the right psi for your vehicle and the right speed, and that's what you want to be doing. Now when you're driving on these kind of corrugations, when you hit the brakes, that's when you really feel it, and when you take corners too fast, then you really feel it too. You'll feel yourself skipping across. In fact, some point of time when you're on corrugations, your tyres are only touching 10% of the ground, 10% contact with the ground, so keep that in mind. It's 10 p.m. and we have reached, well, I have reached Winjana Gorge. The rest of the boys aren't coming. So we're at Winjana Gorge and the corrugations took its toll on the Jeep. The exhaust is off. Well, the muffler is. It sounds pretty cool, but
it was then time to pay our entry fees and be mouse quiet because this place was packed, jam-packed, and of course set up in the dark once again.